Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 5 questions in about 15 minutes. And I am very excited to welcome our guest today. This is Cassandra Gholston. She is the CEO of PartnerTap out of Phoenix, Arizona. Cassandra, thank you so much for joining me today. What would you like the audience to know about PartnerTap?
Well, I want to thank you for having me on your show. For the listeners, we are a data sharing application and we're helping companies to do account mapping and pipeline sharing so they can drive revenue with their partner ecosystems.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's get to our fun questions here. I always enjoy this part, of course. Cassandra, as you've been building your business, is there a particular challenge that you've overcome that you're especially proud of?
Well, I think in any company, there's certain stages. And if I look back at the very beginning of building the company, there's always that question of, are we on to something? And so I think the biggest challenge was really in the early days of you have a product now, you're taking it to market and you're actually going out and you're selling that product. And there was this mantra that my co-founders and I would just keep playing in our head. If you can get one, you can get two. If you can get two, you can get three. And if you can get three, you can get 10 and so on. And back in the early days, it was the funnest time, but it was also, a terrifying time. And it was really hard to land those first big customers. And, now I look back and I'm like, wow, we were here and it's product market fit and repeatable sales process. But I think those really early days were some of the times where you thought, should I quit? Should I stop? But here we are.
But here you are. That's awesome. And I love that approach of, hey, if we can get one, we can get two, we can get two, we can get three, if we get 3, 5, 10, so on and so on and so forth. I really like that approach. I think that that's a very optimistic and confident approach. So love that. Thank you. Question number 2, as a leader, how can a leader or you, or how do you do it in your company? How do you foster creativity within the team or company?
Mm-hmm. I think as a leader, you have the vision for the organization and you're telling all of your leaders and you're aligning them to your vision. And then you're giving them the runway to go and decide how they're going to help get themselves and the teams there. And so if you hire the right people and you get them aligned with the vision, it's really, some people are just, they're figuring things out in a different way than you would and in a better way too.
That's great response, because that alignment is really critical. If they buy into the vision, if they've got that clearly in their minds, I agree completely. That creativity will naturally flow from that. So I think that's great. Awesome. All right. Question number 3, as a leader, how can you help build trust between the team members?
Yeah, I think trust building, it takes time. I think, as the teams are forming, there's always that process of you kind of, to form, you're storming, and then you norm, and then you form. And you just need to get those teams through the storming phase. And that phase, if you can get through the phase, then you have trust built. But trust is an easy thing, I think, to build. But if you lose it, that's where the challenge comes in. And that's where you've got to have leaders step in, and hopefully you have really a good HR business partner that can help
resolve that. Yeah, you're right. Once you've lost trust, it's really hard to get it back. So that's an important point.
Right.
Very good. Question number 4, is there an example of something that's happened that maybe you initially perceived as a failure, but you turned it into a win?
Yeah, I think, Here at Partner Tap, we always say that failures are learnings. When you're running a startup company, you're running experiments, and some of those experiments, they don't work. But it's, what did we learn, and how are we going to use that learning to go to the other side? And I can think of so many things that we might have called failures, but as long as the company is still going in the right direction, I mean, is it truly failures, or are they learnings?
I really like that. As long as we're still moving in the right direction, it's hard to fail. It's until you
Right,
completely deviate. That's a great
right.
approach. I love that. Great attitude. All right. Well, question number 5, our last question. Tell us a little bit about your first job.
My first job. My first job was at Target and one of the Great Land stores, and it actually just came to our small town in Washington, Woodinville, Washington, and I was stocking the shelves before it opened, and yep, learned all about how our customers were guests. So I guess that customer service always served me to now running a company and going, hey, all of our customers are guests. They can leave at
Yes.
any time you want them
Oh,
to
I
stay.
like that. Yeah, I didn't realize that Target. I probably have heard it as I've gone in and out of their stores, but I don't think I ever really connected that. So that's good to know. That's good to
Yeah.
know. Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you so much, Cassandra, for being on our podcast today. How can people find you?
So I'm very active on LinkedIn. So under Cassandra Gholston. And you can also look up our company, partnertap.com, and find me on social there.
Fantastic. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more information, we encourage you to go to teamengagementpodcast.com. And we also invite you to subscribe or follow the podcast, whether you're listening to the audio or watching the video. Either way, we'd love to have you subscribe and follow us on a regular basis. Once again, this is Sean Richards reminding you to have humility to learn and then courage to act. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.